going on, everyone? We are
Hi.
live, and this is the J-Bop and Chip podcast, and we are going to be talking about current events, things that go on in culinary. Let's see, things that go on in culinary, current events, what it's like to be a chef, and just random rants that two chefs would talk about or go over. So just sit back and enjoy the conversation. And we are going to start off with all flats suck. Why do people want all flats? What is the deal with all flats? And what happens to the people who get stuck with the drums? You are in favor of all flats. Please tell me why. Because it's a method. You say they're easier to eat or something like that, right?
It depends on whether you like getting your hands dirty or not. Um, I don't, so I wear gloves when I eat my wings most of the time if I have access. But it's like it's easier to just pull the bones out if you know an easy way just to pull the bones out. Um, and then just dip it if you dip it, and then put the entire bitch in your mouth. It's cool. One bite.
Oh
That's a
my god, just
stop.
one bite, huh? Just
Yep.
one stop shop is done.
All in your mouth at once. It's fine. Guess what? That gives you more time to put the rest of your food in your mouth and finish enjoying what you were doing
See,
before
I
that.
feel that chicken is chicken. I don't care if it's a flat, it's a wing, it's a. I knew a chef, and he swore by chicken butts, like the little when you have a whole chicken, little tail piece look like a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
When we would roast chickens like on the grill, we marinate them bitches for like 3 hours or something in a
Mm-hmm.
citrus marinade, and then we would put them on the smoker. It had like a rotisserie turn on that motherfucker. He would come downstairs because he knew we was roasting them. He come downstairs when they were finished and pick all the butts off. He's like, chicken butts is good. You ain't never had a chicken? I was like, no, I've never really, If I got a piece, it was because it was cut up in some tacos. But
Right.
I never really just went for the little chicken tail. But he's like, man, it's so juicy and good. And I started eating them motherfuckers, and I realized they are tasty. But it's one of those pieces that, like, it has to be roasted. Like, you want that motherfucker crispy type thing. Or else it's just going to be chewing fat. So you want it to be
So there's
nice
no
and roasted.
there's no meat in the
Not really.
in the
I mean, if you got a big, Hulk Hogan ass chicken, that motherfucker does have a little meat right there. But for the most part, no, it's just like fat and skin.
well, that explains why he thinks they're good, because a lot of people just like to eat the skin. I'm a person that likes to eat the skin off like my fried chicken, or like just chicken in general. Like when I'm making chicken thighs, just popping them shits in the oven, I'll take the skin off and eat it because it's like a nice little crunchy chip.
I mean, I respect. I like chicken skin to the point where I'm not the only one. They sell chicken skins now. You ever
Yeah,
seen the
you can make them at
the
home.
I mean, you can buy them. They sell them as a healthy alternative to
Yeah.
pork skins and things of that nature.
I've
But I
seen
was
those.
making them like in the kitchen as a chef snack. We got fried chicken Fridays, or sometimes we had to skin chicken because the chicken that came in wasn't boneless or it was cheaper or whatever. So we had to take the
Right.
skin off. I would fry that shit and season it. Oh, it was delicious. It was so like the first time I did that, and I ate it, and it went. I was like, oh dear God, this is amazing. I said, I just want the skin. You know how Cartman
Right.
was on South Park, where he was just eating the skin off the KFC.
Yep,
That's
yep,
how I was
yep.
for that moment. So I totally understand why there are chicken skins. Like they sell chicken skins now.
Right.
Chefs have been eating chicken skin snacks since the beginning of time. The public is late.
Yeah. I will say that. I make those at home all the time. Like whenever making chicken, someone doesn't like, because some people are very picky when they eat their chicken. They're like, I'll
True.
eat chicken,
True.
but I don't want the. No, it's like a weird picky. Like I'll eat it, but I don't want the bones or the veins in it. So give it to me like that. And it's like, okay.
Then you want a McDonald's.
You want a chicken nugget is what I'm hearing. Cause I'm making roasted chicken thighs, or like I'm making a whole roasted chicken. Don't tell me you don't want a vein in it, because there's gonna be veins in it.
It's like you have chicken, and like for fried chicken, I think every chef has gone through this. Even if you cook at home, you've gone through this. You cook the chicken, You maybe even tempt the chicken, or you just know it's been down there 15 minutes, and then I turned it over or flipped it. It's been about 20 minutes. It's good to go. And then you crack that motherfucker open, and you get a vein that pop, and you get a little blood in there. It's perfectly fine. That chicken is not raw. I've temped chicken to 165, 170, and had it come back because, like, right at the bone, it was a vein. It's like, oh, this is raw. It's blood in it. I'm like, it's definitely not raw. It's been cooking in the fryer for 20 minutes at least, because I kind of forgot about it because I got distracted with other stuff.
Right. That happens to everybody.
I know it's not raw.
I mean, but
people are just like, no, I don't want it.
But sometimes, unfortunately, I will say from my prior experience cooking, just because you tempt chicken
Doesn't
to
mean
165 does not mean that it's cooked.
I feel you. That's why I leave it at, once it hits 165, I was like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. I focus on something else. I set up my pan and I get stuff ready, like, while it's still in the fryer. And even then, when I pull it out of the fryer, it's still sitting there so it can drain.
Right.
So it's a good 30 minutes before it even goes out to the customer, because I know how fried chicken is. And then if your fryer isn't at the correct temperature, that shit'll look like Gary Coleman and still be raw in the middle.
Right.
There's nothing worse than getting a nice, wonderful golden piece of chicken to the point where it's like, yo, this chicken is fucking, whoever fried this need a fucking award. Right. And then you go to crunch that bitch and it's not done in the middle. Oh, that ruined your whole... Bro. Who cooked this shit? Was it Leroy? Who did it? Was it you? Because you about to get it now. You just fucked up my whole nice little daydream and look all nice and golden and buttery and the biscuits over here. Yeah, it's terrible.
I figured that shit out the hard way because it was like... I don't even remember how old I was. I think it was like 2014, 2015.
Fried chicken?
It gets worse than that. Like 2014, 2015. So I was around 14, 15 years old, right? No, I'm sorry, 13, 14 years old. My dad's doing a little catering event because, I grew up in the chef industry. My dad's doing a little catering event. I'm supposed to be helping him with this. And it was like the night before, after I got done with like helping him with prep and shit. I was like, hey, what do y'all want to eat for dinner? And the only thing we really got in there is like chicken.
Of course.
Exactly. So, I'm making it, but it's chicken breast. And mind you, I've been the chicken master in my house, like just like the meat master in my house, knowing how to cook meats and like especially chicken, because I roasted chicken wings all the time. I could fry chicken. I could do all that shit. But the problem with this one is I have never sauteed a chicken breast or sauteed.
You never sauteed a chicken breast at this point in your life? So you're like new to I'm just going to make chicken for dinner, everybody.
Yeah, I was like, I had never sauteed chicken like in my life, period. And I know when it goes in the oven, I know
Wait a minute. Hold on. Because you said saute, and now you talk about throwing it in the oven. So was it one of those combination things where you saute it or sear it in the pan, and then you put it in the oven?
Not at all.
God, please explain.
So I'm used to cooking all my chicken in the oven, so I know.
Okay, I respect that.
I know you season it, you throw it in the oven, and it stays in there for a certain amount of time because it's done. So wait around like 25, 30 minutes and it's done. I know from what I've seen, you cook the chicken on the stove until it gets like a golden color. And if you can't get a golden color on your chicken, I need you to put seasoning in your chicken. Because I saw someone that had white chicken and it was scary.
You can't put too much in there though.
Not at all.
Because then it burns though.
Exactly.
Easy on the cayenne.
But so me trying to figure out how to saute this chicken, I was asking my dad and I was like, hey, what temp do I need the chicken? Because, I've never tempted chicken coming out the oven because I know it's cooked. Of course. But I'm like, what temp does the chicken need to get before, I can serve it? He was like, 165. I said, okay, bet. Cook them bitches. They were nice, golden, like really pretty. And I gave them to everybody. Next morning, half my siblings had salmonella. And I had to take care of them while helping finish this prep for this thing and do the cleanup shit because all their asses are sick on the couch and I'm the only one that's healthy enough to do shit.
Oh my gosh, it was your fault. You made everybody sick. It's like, oh my god, now I gotta aid these motherfuckers back to
Bro,
life.
so now we
That's
have,
funny.
now my family has on their calendar, I think it's like April 4th. It is Salmonella Day, where I'm not allowed to like cook like any type of poultry or anything that can give you
Is it
salmonella.
Salmonella Day?
Yeah. So now I'm basically not allowed to cook that day, and if I do cook, it has to be anything but
Wait a
chicken.
minute. It was so bad that you have your own day. When you know, it's Salmonella Day, so please don't touch a pot in this motherfucker.
Basically.
Like, that type of shit.
But look, when I first started dating my partner, my family told them about Salmonella Day.
Oh my god! So it's
And
like
so-
one of those embarrassing moments that your family
Yeah,
talks about.
and then so after we moved in together, my partner remembered Salmonella Day, and she was like, "No, your family told me about this day. You aren't allowed in the kitchen," and we ordered takeout all day.
Oh my gosh!
But I'm just like, bro, we had groceries. I could have cooked. We literally just bought groceries like 2 days ago. Plenty of food in the house. You telling me you're really gonna be stuck on the fact that I can't cook from what happened when I was 12, 13?
Yes, it's scarred. It follows you forever.
But I've made up after it. Like I made it
follows
up.
you forever. It's like, you know how they say your elementary school record will follow you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it follows you forever. And actually, it doesn't. I don't even know when it stops. Like, when do people stop caring about grade school grades? After college, I guess, because that's what you used to get into college. I mean, like, nobody really.
But it depends
cares.
on where you see grade school at. Like,
I guess. Okay.
because when I think
me
grade
not
school,
say
I
that.
think
Let me
like
not say that.
K through 5th.
Getting into college. Okay, so after you get into college, yeah, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that, no. Once you get accepted, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so next thing we need to discuss is something that we both have experienced, and I feel that anyone who works in the service industry, let me not just say culinary, let me involve everyone, like from servers, you know, people who take the bags, whatever, in hotels. And if you're in the service industry and you have a busy night, you know, you need to be understanding, especially if you're in a managerial position, you need to be understanding that, okay, people are going to have attitudes. People are going to make mistakes. It's going to be miscommunications tonight. Like, you know how you just know, shaking my head, it's going to be a fucked up night before we really get into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're an hour into the shift, it's like, oh, it's going to be one of those. That's when you prepare yourself, like, okay, somebody's going to fuck up. This is going to happen. XYZ is going to happen. And you kind of get your zen before the chaos starts. Like, you make your little invisible shield, like, I'm not taking this home with me tonight type of thing. Because the reality of it is, unless you are really willing to, like, walk out that night and not return, you need to let it go the next day and come into work with, you know, a fresh head, or even apologize after it's all over. Like, okay, it was out of hand, you know, that shit happened. Server dropped a tray and I lost it, and from that point on, you know, I was fucked the rest of the night, and I'm sorry I took that shit out on you type of thing. You have to be willing to, you know, be flexible and understand that, okay, somebody gonna make mistakes. Like, maybe my broiler guy gets overwhelmed, or maybe my saute person gets overwhelmed, or XYZ. It's gonna happen because it's busy as shit. But you need to let it go.
Right.
This is for managers and people who are not managers. Even if you're an hourly person, like, you need to let it go, because you're coming back into work the next day to get a check for whatever your financial situation is. Maybe you're good, maybe you need this check, maybe it's extra, whatever. If you know that you have to come into work the next day to get that check, let that shit go from last night.
Yeah. That's why sometimes it pays to have like an upbeat, like bubbly personality.
Always.
Because if you're like super friendly with everybody and you always come in a good mood, like how I try to be. I try and always come in a good mood, keep face, you know, I love everybody. If you see me get on your case, first of all, I'm way too nice to snap on you or to cuss at you or do anything besides say.
I'll vouch for that.
Like, there's been times when I've been irritated and I'm like, hey, give me like 2 seconds. Don't stand back here.
Just
you know?
leave me the hell
or,
alone.
Hey, I've done this like a few times for you. I need you to figure out how to portion control just a little bit because, you know.
Swear to God, I'll stab your dog. I will stab your fucking dog right now.
Nah, that's.
Swear to God.
No, that sounds more like my aunt. She'd tell everybody she'd stab them if they came in the kitchen.
You the motherfucker with the poodle? I'll stump the shit out that motherfucker right now.
But at the end of the day, after, you know, I say my little piece, and I'm very nice with it. I say my little piece, and then they come back, act like nothing even happened. Or even if they do see I'm holding it or I feel I'm holding it, I'm going to try to be as nice as I can because I know if I lose face for 2 seconds, I'm finna cuss at somebody that does not deserve to be cussed at. So I take my little ass home. Like, I finish up as fast as I can, take my little ass home, come back in, same person. We're good.
I respect that.
And then most of the people always expect me to be happy, and they know that whenever I get into a serious moment, it's because it was needed. I don't like people seeing me like serious.
But okay, so nobody really wants. I have to choose wisely because this is going on the internet for the world. Most people, because some motherfuckers just want to see the world burn. Most like people sometimes don't want everyone else to see them in a bad light or see that side of them. Like, you know, if you come home and you're verbally abusive to your spouse, you don't want that side of you to come out at work. But if shit really hits the fan, people may see that fucking side of you.
Right.
Like, let's say it's super busy and the server drops a VIP tray. You might let them have it. But no one wants anyone to see that side of them publicly.
And see, I can full-heartedly agree and vouch for that because although I have this nice aura that's bubbly and playful and you want to be around me and something just makes you want to say, hey, Chip, how you doing? You know?
Hey.
I love that about me.
Like
I can switch that shit on and off, but at my core, I fucking hate people. Like, everybody besides my small group of people that I choose to stay in my circle, if you aren't in that group, like if I haven't granted you that access, and you'll know if you've granted access whether I tell you or not. If you aren't in that group, I want you to fucking die. In the most disrespectful, respectful way possible. Like, go eat shit. Why are you bothering me?
Wait a minute.
I don't like people.
Well, honestly, most people don't like people. I'm not really a people person, but I realize the more people friendly I am, and the more approachable is the word. The more approachable I am, the more money you get. First off,
right?
The better you can communicate, and the more approachable you are, the more money you get paid, and it's easier to manage. And also, by being that type of manager that is approachable, you usually get things, or you get news, or you get problems before they're a major problem, because people are willing to come to you and say, hey, chef, or hey, boss lady, XYZ happened. This is what I think. Or remember last week when I told you XYZ? Well, now it's turned into XYZ. People are more willing to tell you something as opposed to hiding it because they don't want to get verbally abused or cussed out.
Right.
You know, then they hide it until it pops up when they're not there. Or it's gotten so bad, it's like, well, I told you 8 weeks ago, like, that shit was going on, XYZ. The more approachable you are, the better
your experience will be.
And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that always or 100% of the time, but people are more likely to approach you if, you know, you have a friendlier demeanor, if that makes sense. You don't have to be Mr. Rogers, but you just gotta be like, all right, I know if I have an issue, I can at least go to that motherfucker, and they'll tell me XYZ, or they'll just say, no, it's fuck, bro.
Right. That's why most of the time my demeanor is like give off cool sibling, whether I'm your cool, irritated little sister or like your, tomboyish older brother, it doesn't matter. That's the type of vibe I give off. Like, even though I don't like people, that doesn't mean I'm gonna tell you that I hate you to your.
I'm a horrible person. I'll just stump your poo.
It doesn't.
Stump your fucking.
I don't like people because they're like.
Ew. I go put that on the shirt. I'll stump.
Yeah. We have a few shirt ideas now. I'll have to draw out later. But even though I don't like people, doesn't mean like I'm gonna openly do anything to hurt you or do anything negative towards you. Of course. Because by nature, I'm still a nice person. I want the best for everybody. I'm a very contradictory person. I don't like you, but I want the best for you.
I mean, but that's not necessarily being contradictory. It's more so of you have morals. Like there's a fucking, a line there. It's like, all right, I don't necessarily like your bitch ass, but I'm just not gonna punch you in the face. Like, okay, I don't really fuck with you, so I'm not gonna fuck with you. It's not like, if you come around me, I swear to God, I'm kicking you in private. It's not like that, because you got a moral compass. It's like, why? I'd rather just go somewhere else or just deal with you for this month. And that's another thing. Like, when you come to work, you're going to deal with people you don't necessarily want to deal with for a check. And a lot of people have to realize that everybody at work isn't your friend. Your coworkers are not your friends. You may get friends from coworkers. You got similar interests or like similar music.
Right.
Outside of work, y'all just pop up at the same place. Oh, shit, you shop here? You go, yeah, bro.
Right.
That happens. That's just human. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people get it twisted, and maybe they don't have a big friend group outside of work, or maybe they're introvert, and then at work, because they're so tight knit, or they're at work all the time, they get comfortable with people. Man, we're buddies. No, motherfuckers will hurt your feelings.
Absolutely. I've learned that, and it's not even like in a purposeful way. It's just like sometimes, especially that's why I learned you can't make friends with your managers, even if y'all around the same age, even if they're older than you, younger than you, don't matter. You can't always make friends with your managers because y'all buddy, giddy at work, and then some shit blow off because you actually fucked up. Now your manager has to tell you something, and you're like, damn, why are you talking to me like that? I thought we was friends. You can just let us know. I couldn't. You can't just let that shit slide. And that's where relationships start breaking up, because we should have been friends, but now you actually got to act like my manager, and I don't like that about you now.
It's the switch, because the friendship part is it weighs heavier than the work part, which is why you really shouldn't be getting frisky with people at work, because then it's a little different. It's like, who the fuck are you talking to? But it's like,
exactly.
Your boss, you fucked up. I don't care about what you did last night, but you fucked up right now. Like,
right.
I can't turn away from that. Like, we're at work. Other people are looking. If I turn away from that, that's obvious favoritism. Mm-hmm. So it's not in anyone's best interest to get frisky at work. And sometimes places have policies where, if you build a relationship, like let's say y'all didn't come into work together, but y'all ended up together, they'll put you at different locations or in different departments.
So that way y'all aren't there together.
Right. So, when you have, and I'm just trying to think from my own personal experience because I try to be friendly with my staff, like either whether they're above me or under me, I just try to get along with everybody. I try to be neutral. Mm-hmm. But I do understand that there's a line there. And if you weigh too heavily on the friend side, and when you later have to switch over and be a boss, it's tension there. Mm-hmm. And then, motherfuckers be like, well, fuck this, I quit because you a two-faced ass motherfucker or some shit. It's like, no, bro, we hung out, we had beers, but you cannot deny that was overcooked or that was burnt. Come on, my G, help me out here.
Yeah, and you gotta take that shit like a champ. Know you fucked up, and even though you might feel hurt in that moment because you wasn't expecting that, you gotta remember that's your boss. Y'all can still be cool. Just do better. Everybody has their fuck ups. Just do a little better. Eat that shit. Let it simmer for however long you want to. Make sure that y'all good by the end of the day if you still feeling some type of resentment because you felt it was overly harsh.
That comes with getting over it, and that comes with growing up. Now, granted, it's some things you can't get over. Like, if a motherfucker attacks you personally, that's fucking different. Now you taking it all out of context.
Right.
But from a standpoint of, I feel that just like any relationship, you have to be able to play tennis. So if I say, okay, that was garbage, it's like, all right, you right, Chef, that I can do better. Cool. Now when you do better, it's my job to say, all right, motherfucker, why the fuck wasn't the last three like this? This shit is magnificent, right?
Right.
It's my job to say, all right, you did that. We playing tennis. And then you go, okay, that's how you want it from this point on, blah, blah, blah. And usually it's good. But if it's always one way, this sucks, do better, this sucks, and you never give that, all right, now you getting it, or now we on the same page, you suck as a manager for one.
It's like a compliment sandwich.
Yes, but it has to be more compliments than negatives.
That's what compliment sandwich is. You like, hey, so I'm seeing you got some progress. You're doing great lately. You did fuck up a little with this.
Sound like Bob from accounting. I see that
basically, you did fuck up a little bit on this steak because we had to send back twice. But you know what? I believe you can get past this, and I'm rooting for you. You let them know that they fucked up, but you also made them feel good too.
You can't be corny about it, though.
Absolutely,
it has to be genuine.
It has to be genuine.
Like,
absolutely,
it has to be genuine.
That's just my accountant.
When you see that they are really like putting forth an effort, because. And this is another thing that people have to realize. Some people are trainable. Some people are moldable, because you also have to realize that just because they're under you here doesn't mean they were always under you. Like, you have some people who had huge salaries, and then maybe COVID happened, place closed down, or they just didn't want the responsibility, and now they chose hourly, which means that they can do what you do. They just choose not to. So you have to tread lightly, because everybody's not, just because they're not where you are, doesn't mean they're not capable of getting there. Yeah. So you have to be respectful of everybody. So, I mean, you just have to be mindful that they're people before their position.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes sense, you are a person, like, we was out on the street. I need to respect you as a human being first.
It's like, just because your name has chef in front of it, or manager in front of it, or who cares, whatever official title you have in front of your name, just because you have that over your name doesn't always mean that you have the right to talk to somebody a certain type of way. And that doesn't always mean that you were meant for that position. Somebody just could have been a horrible hiring manager, hired your ass, and now you have this power that you should not have, when you should really be below the first staff, like the first layer.
It was just horrible management. Like, yeah, that motherfucker shouldn't be here. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So they gotta go.
Yeah, if you have a horrible hiring manager, you're gonna end up
hiring horrible people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That part.
I mean, you have some places that just need bodies, and then you have some places where they took the time, because, let's be honest, the hospitality industry is a revolving door within itself.
Yeah, that's more of just, you need bodies there.
Unless a lot of people do it so they get to a certain point where, let's say they're 50, at that age where they have more office service jobs or culinary jobs where they don't really do too much on the floor. Like, they may plug a hole here or expo, or, come down and make sure this looks nice and parlay with guests and things of that nature. But they're really sitting up here at this point.
Right.
And it take a while to fucking get there, too. Because it's like, once you get there, the people who are under you should be solid. If they're not under you, then you have to work, because you have to plug this hole, and then you have to look for talent for this position, look for talent for this position. Oh shit, like, we losing money, somebody's stealing, I need to investigate this. Oh, why is this not being solved? Because my manager's a part of it too. Like, if your crew isn't solid, I don't care what level you are, it's gonna be extra work on top of whatever position you are.
Exactly.
And a lot of that is you're try to work with what you have as best as you can. And some people get on the train. It's cool. It's like, okay, cool. I'll rock with this new manager. They're great. And then some people just not gonna rock with it, and they need to get the fuck on.
Right.
But as you replace the person who got the fuck on, you need to put somebody in there who meshes well with everyone else. And that's the difference between hiring a body and actually giving a care about who you hire. And sometimes it's about price, and sometimes it's about the interview, because you can pay somebody a decent amount of money hourly, like, you know, a respectable amount of money, and they suck because you suck as a hiring manager.
Right.
And then you can find somebody that's great, and he's like, yo, they accepted the pay. It's like, yeah, man. We had a conversation. I was like, yo, like, you know how much this job paid? And he was like, yeah, I'm going through something right now. It's really close to the house, so, you know, I like to take it. And they turned out to be phenomenal, and they worked there for 2 years, and now they're a manager. Sometimes that happens, but when you have a nice majority, and then the ones that don't fit leave, or you fire them, or, you know, whatever, when you add to that, you need to make sure that that +1 or that +2 fits with everything else. And then you got a good solid crew. It's like, oh, I'm about to take 2 days vacation. Y'all got it.
Right. I know if I'm getting paid like 6-7 figures just to basically sit around and plug a few holes, I'd rather, you know, get paid the 6-7 figures to sit around. I don't want to have to plug holes. So I'm just going to make sure that my people down here are good.
Actually doing my fucking
You said I could actually sit back here and be on my phone, act like I'm texting the big guys and, you know, doing all this really important stuff when, like, I know I have a good sturdy crew underneath me. But I can't sit right here texting on my phone, talking to the imaginary big guys if I got 3 people that want to go take a smoke break at the same time in the middle of service with 20 tickets on the board.
True. And to further that, let's not make it seem like we're just glamorizing the higher position, because it is work, and you do work to get to that position. Yeah. But when the crew that is under you is solid, you can actually focus on what your position is supposed to be, whether that's talking to purveyors, ordering things, trying to see how you can reduce the food costs, or trying to expand your membership if it's a private club, or, you know, how could I advertise my own restaurant? When things are solid underneath you, if it makes sense, you can walk around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if the ground isn't solid under you, you can't fucking walk around. You're sitting there trying to fix it. So when things under you are solid, you should be able to do what your actual job title entails, which should also give you the opportunity to self-educate to get to a higher level. So really, any manager is in their best position to make sure that the crew under them is solid. And I definitely understand that if you do not own the company, or even worse, if you do own the company or business, paying people, pay and quality are like difficult as fuck, because you want to pay somebody this and you demand this quality, like that part is all fucking skewed now. Right, unless you have experience under your belt, and when you lay your resume down, like, the table will get lopsided because it holds so much weight. It's like, oh, okay, sure, we can pay you this much, but understand, you get paid this much. The motherfuckers who are hourly, they only giving them this much. So that's a revolving door under you, which makes your job hard. It's like, yeah, my check juicy, but fuck, I ain't got a day off because this person called off, and then there was a fight yesterday, and then this happened. Right. I can't keep a dishwasher because they only pay them fucking $12, and it's $220, $23. Like, yeah. So it doesn't make your shit easy at all. Like, even though your check is juicy, everybody else's check isn't juicy.
And making you actually work for that check. You're going to put in that work. If you want that 6-7 figures, you're going to have to put into work.
We're about to work you like a Negro spiritual, sir.
Exactly. Bro, that's why, mad respect to people that can hire, or like the hiring managers that are on their job. And mad respect
and have the account to hire people what they're worth. Yes,
it's really hard when you got to work on a certain account, and it's like, well, damn, I could have this person in here because they have everything I need under their belt, but they're demanding da-da-da-da-da, and I can only afford to give them like $200-300 less than the salary they want. And obviously they aren't going to go for that because that's a lot of money you're missing now. But it's like, damn, now I got to hire this person and pay them the base amount, but this person act like they're worth less than the base amount. So now you gotta keep just going through them.
You also have to understand that a lot of things just make sense. Some things are obvious, and some things you find out later. If you're in a position where you're accepting a certain amount of money, like let's say, well, let's go really low. Let's say 13, 12. Okay, if you're in a position where you're taking 13, 12, you either that's all you can do right now, like you're in a desperate situation, maybe it's close to the house, you don't have a car, it's on the bus route type of thing, you're trying to get your shit together, or it's extra.
Yeah, you just want a little bit extra cash to throw
Right.
away, you know.
Either way, that person is not going to be there long. Because if it's extra and you piss me off, fuck you, I'm getting the fuck out. If it's a desperate situation, that means I really don't feel like I'm worth this, but I need to do this right now to get my shit together. And once I get my shit together, I'm out. And then you have the third one, which is the person that probably has a drug problem, mental issues. Maybe they live with someone who cares for them and they just need to have a job to make sure that the bills are good type of situation. And you don't want a bunch of those. You don't want a whole team of those. You can have a few of those, okay, perfectly fine. But to have a whole team of those and depend on those, no, they're unstable. Like, everything at that level of pay is basically unstable, which makes things sucky as fuck. Like, you have to raise that up. But as they raise the pay, the demand or the expectation is raised also. It's like, what the fuck you mean? Oh, no, you get a 10-minute break, bro. That's it. We didn't cost you outside smoking 3 times. Get the fuck in here. You said you wanted X amount of hour. We gave you X amount of hour. What the fuck is you doing? That type of shit. So it's like, okay, you get to a point now where it's like, all right, I have to pay. But now it's like, motherfuckers really demand whatever they say they want for that pay. Sure, we'll give you that, but don't slip up, motherfucker, we'll kill you. And you're like, sure, good joke. Nah, shing, shing.
It's like, yeah, I'll give you the extra 50 cents, or I'll give you the extra $1.50 that you want, but just know, if we get one more like medium rare steak when it's supposed to be rare, you got to get shanked, my guy.
Oh, we'll give you the extra 10 grand a year, but if we get complaints more than 4 times a month, that's it for you, buddy. It's like 4 times. What if it's some shit that's out of my control? Like, what if the things came from the factory smaller? Like we got buns that are smaller. That's not our fault. It's the same size we normally order. It's just whoever made them motherfuckers was an ounce off. Or so like they all a little smaller. That's out of my control.
Or like when you're out of something, like it's like one ingredient for a dish, but this person's like, oh no, you're out of that? That was my favorite ingredient in the dish, and it's like some minuscule thing. Like it's some small minuscule thing that you can't do.
It didn't come on the truck. Did you not hear what's going on in Honduras? Like the whole supply chain is fucked. We can't get that. And then it's they just file a complaint. It's like, oh, that was the 4th one. It's like, wait, that's not my fault. What are you talking about? It's like, no, killed. Next. That's kind of how it is now. Like, it's cutthroat now. So if you ask for X amount of dollars and the place gives you X amount of dollars, it's like, don't fuck it up. You wanted this, we gave it to you, now we need you to perform. It's like dance, motherfucker, dance. People will much rather, or let me not say people too, but companies will much rather pay for the quality now than for the dead weight.
Right, absolutely.
Like, I feel like we've gotten to a point, especially in this economy, where people are getting fired left and right. It's like, oh, we don't really need that position. We don't need somebody to hold this door open. Let's just spend the 10 grand to change all the doors to be automatic. Right. And then we don't have to have people here to greet people and hold the doors. And
exactly.
Like, they're making decisions like that. So you need to really have your weight in salary. And the best way to have your weight in salary is to self-educate and make sure that you own your shit. And whatever field you in, you are the fucking asset.
Absolutely.
I don't give a damn if you a stripper. If work on your core, your glutes, all of this shit. You taking kickboxing, aerobics, and all of that, and you the only motherfucker who can twirl from the ceiling all the way down and then go all the way back up and pause like a plank. Yeah, you did that. You worked to get those tips. You worked to be a star. Like whatever field you're in, as long as you self-educate and see yourself as the asset, you'll be A1. Like, think of it from the standpoint of once you see yourself as the asset in any situation, you're not necessarily worried about getting fired. One,
Right.
because if you consider yourself an asset and you self-educate and you try to invest in yourself, wherever you at, they go, okay, that motherfucker's valuable. We want to keep them. We want to try to keep them happy as much as we can. Right?
Exactly.
But then if they don't understand or see your talent and they just go, well, fuck this shit, whatever, you can then take your golden self and go
And find
somewhere
something-
else and say, look, I know how to do all of these things. I do them efficiently. I've been doing them for years. And the only reason I don't have this position is because at the previous place, that person wasn't leaving because they were 40 or 50 years old and they'd only been there 2 years, so they had no chance of leaving that position. So I'm looking elsewhere.
Right.
You have to sell yourself. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or hi. You're not necessarily worried about, oh, fuck, I'm going to get fired, or, oh, shit, they don't see my worth, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like
Don't worry
no
like
matter
that.
where I go, because funny enough, I've aspired to work since I was in 3rd grade. I was like, yeah, when I get out of high school, I'm going to live with my parents for a little bit, I'm going to get a job, and then, I'm going to get my own place. Cool. I've done everything I've said so far. I got a job. I stayed with my parents a little bit longer. Got my own place. I'm still working, still moving through the same career path I thought I was going to do.
It's a process.
Right. But you know what? I grew up in such a way and just have worked so much where I have what I would like to think a really great work ethic. Like sometimes I will say I'm goofing off, I'm playing around, I'm not working. But when you need me to work, just know, and most people see, when you need me to work, depending on where I'm working at, I can fill the position of at least 3 people with speed and efficiency that you need. The only reason you don't see that on a daily is because most of the time I don't need to spend all that energy on a daily. There's no call for it, so why would I do that? I'm not going to sit here and act like the Flash just to slice bread that y'all need 2 hours from now. I'm going to take my merry time, enjoy life, because, I'm still a person. I don't want to be here all day hating life.
True. People don't want to come to work hating life. That's
Exactly.
why work environments are very important. That's why hiring people is very important. But a lot of times, the place you're hiring for, even if you work, and this is the crazy thing, even if you work in the same place, the place that you are hiring for, you have no understanding of most of the time.
Right.
Recruiters, okay, they read the description, they go blah 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 blah, and then they just have an algorithm that matches resumes that best fit the fucking description. And then they do an interview about it. But do they work at the restaurant that they're recruiting for? No. Some of them have restaurant experience or hospitality experience, but are they currently working in the same place that they're hiring for? No. Even in-house HR or managers, like let's say your executive chef is hiring for a position. If he hasn't, let me stop saying he or she, doesn't matter, because I've seen female execs and male execs, whatever, they're both great. Doesn't really matter what sex you are, it's all about your skill set. So if your exec is hiring for a position that they themselves have not worked at that place, like they had to fill the hole that night,
Right.
or they expoed and they see what's going on, like, okay, the person I hire needs to be able to do XYZ, because that's what this position needs to work efficiently. If they're not doing that, that's when you just get bodies.
Right.
Like, you need me to hire somebody? Here you go. Here's Jonathan. Wait a minute, but Jonathan has 3 years of experience, but in a sushi restaurant. Like, this is a steakhouse. Like, That's like you giving me a totally green cook, but you want them to work the grill, which is the most expensive part of the rest. That's when you get shit like that.
Guy's vegan teacher. They're gonna fuck all your shit up.
It's like, but their knife cuts are amazing and they know how to butcher. It's like, yeah, their knife cuts may be amazing and they know how to butcher, but they don't know how to cook steaks.
They can't taste their steak and
it's
to
not
make sure
gonna
it's
work
seasoned.
for the position that we need. That's when you get shit like that. You need to actually see and understand the position that you are trying to fill.
Right.
If you don't, that's when you just hire bodies, or you get in the situation of, I need to hire 3 people, so I got 2 good ones in the body. We'll take that. Most people will take that. I got 2 good ones in the body, cool beans. But if you just throwing me 3 bodies, it's like, bruh, I'd much rather you do temps, because at least we ain't got to see them again if they suck. You can go, okay, don't send that motherfucker back. I need somebody else, or just go with a different temp agency. Like, don't hire a body just to fill a spot, because that's wasted training. Mm-hmm. That's a wasted uniform if you do uniforms. And that's just a waste of product, because they're probably going to fuck it up.
Right. And then on top of that, it's a lack of will to actually work there. It's like, no, I don't want to work here. I'm not going to stay here more than like 2 check cycles. So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to fuck around. Oh, I don't care that y'all are getting 15 tickets sent back because of me. I'm still gonna get these. I'm still gonna get these 2 checks. Me making this food isn't gonna affect it at all. I'm finna leave whether y'all send me home or not.
Like, whatever. Like, I don't really give a fuck about cooking.
Look, as long as I got those 8 hours, I'm good.
Right, I do my 8 and I skate type of attitude.
Right.
And you have people like that, and to an extent, it's unavoidable. Mm-hmm. You will have people like that, and some of those people they work, like they literally do their 8. They do their work enough to get paid, enough to satisfactory, see student all the way, and that's perfectly fine. You know, no harm, no foul, and they get the fuck out of there.
Right.
That's like the bare minimum. But when you have people that just don't give 2 fucking shits, and it's like,
that'd
really?
be the worst type.
Bring this motherfucker in here, bro?
And on top of that, hiring the people that don't give 2 shits about what they're actually doing is gonna
work 3 gold chains.
It's gonna affect the people that you got that are actually strong team players. Yes. Because now these strong team players are having to pull the weight of this one shit person that could probably weigh like 10 fucking people.
It's like, you paying this motherfucker what? I much rather you break their salary and give it to me, and I'll do the extra work and work the extra days and have me deal with this shit.
You're telling me that we're getting paid the same amount even though I'm doing my job plus their job too? And y'all just letting them stay still? Nah, if he's not gone within like 2 days, and you can voice this shit. If he's not gone within 2 days, I'm leaving. I did that shit with one of my jobs. The person, because I don't want to call him any rude names, so the person was a jackass. So I left. Like, I went into work. I was pink as fuck. Looked like pink eye. I can't work in the kitchen with pink eye or looking like I have it.
True. Hell no, not in the kitchen. Fuck no. And I'll get the rest of my staff. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Called in ahead of time. Said, hey, got a situation in my eye. I can't come in. It's like, just come in, show face. Come in, show face. Different manager in the store says, okay, so you better clock in or you're getting fired. I'm like, bet.
I would never tell a sick employee to clock in. Like, if you come in there and you got that type of shit, like, no, get the fuck out, because I'd rather you go and I pick up your weight than have you be here, and now this person's calling out, and now this person's calling out, because everyone's life isn't like yours. Exactly. Some people, you know, they can't really afford to get sick, or if they get sick, it fucks everything up. So I'd rather, if you sick, stay your ass at home.
Exactly.
You ain't even got to bring in a doctor's note. How many days you need? About 2 days, and then your off days kick in, so you got 4 days. All right, cool. Go ahead, take your little, get yourself better, and then come into work.
And it's like, part of me understood why he was saying that, but at the same time, it didn't, because at the time, I was in the process of moving and shit, so I was, like, calling out, I called out a few days, but I explained the situation. But I had explained the severity.
I would have scheduled that differently. When is the day you need to move the most? So you need these 2 days off?
Exactly.
Cool beans. Take them 2 days off,
but
come in late the next day, and we good.
This was very spur of the moment, and I was letting them know the severity of what was going on. and they relate the message through everything. And when he said clock in, or we're gonna have to let you go, I'm like,
but I'm sick, bro.
But because I wasn't actually sick, I told them what happened. I was telling the truth. Unfortunately, I realized don't always tell the truth at work. But I told the truth. Unfortunately, it was like,
sometimes you gotta lie to a motherfucker.
I was like, I know I called out a few times, and I really didn't want to lose my job. I know I'm important to y'all, and I like this job as much as y'all like me being here. So I wanted to come in, but I accidentally got shampoo in my eye trying to rush out, and it wasn't like a small bit. It was like a glob that was enough to make my eye turn red.
Your eye was like irritated.
And stuff like but I still came in, and after he said that, I stayed out of spite. I knew it's what he needed because he needed a body so he could be lazy because he's one of the people that like to run and run out.
So he just needed a body to be lazy.
Yeah, he needed a body to be lazy. But I stayed there. I made sure almost every customer saw my face, and I waited until I got the reaction I wanted, which was like, oh, thank you for my food. And it was like a bit concerned face because why am I dealing with food? Everybody asking me this, that, and the third.
Right, like if my server comes to my table and they look like
they're gonna give me a
the eye or they got pink eye, it's like, I don't know if I want them sizzling fajitas, bruh.
Like you only get pink eye from like basically putting shit near your eye.
You know what?
Basically.
I had an experience with a server. And they had BO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, you know what, maybe, I don't know, whatever this person's situation is, they could have forgot. Because there's days where I forget.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to reach for a plate, and it's like, oh, that's me? Oh, that's me. I got to go. I gotta go.
Look,
or I gotta hit the bathroom, do a whole bath real quick, and run down to the street, pick up a little stick. Because I always keep a stick. Whether it's in my bag or in the car, I keep a stick just in case. Like, I've left out the house, out the shower, threw everything on, ran out this bitch, and didn't put any DO on. Got to work and was like, it's probably halfway through the shift when it really kicked. You're like, oh, that's me. Oh.
I'd be like, damn, I thought that was just something
random. Or sometimes,
random.
depending on who you are, that shit kick in maybe 30 minutes after you get out the shower if you ain't put in no DO.
Yeah.
But I always keep some in my bag, in the car, wherever, so I can take a whole bath, freshen up, throw on some DO if I forget it. So this server had BO, and I was just like, bro, you gotta know. I'm thinking this in my mind, like, you have to know. And I could see her, like, moving the trays and doing stuff like that. I was like, oh, you know. So you probably forgot. So I'm still gonna give you a tip, though. But if I ever come back to this place and you got BO again, you ain't getting shit.
Right.
You ain't getting shit.
I mean, and that's reasonable because part of the work handbook is make sure you come into work and take care of your hygiene. Like, it's basics. I like to think of myself as a person that has everything in their bag because you got a headache, I got stuff for headaches. You tired, I probably got an energy drink or some type of pill that's gonna boost, your energy. You feel like you might smell a little or you need a little freshen up. I got a cinnamon roll-on in my pocket.
Cinnamon
and
is an amazing scent.
Look, and then I got a Nicki Minaj spray on in case you wanted the basic girly girls, you know?
Imagine you saying I got the Nicki Minaj.
Look, I had to get the regular shit because not everybody likes to smell super sweet and not everybody's scent smells like super.
You know, despite... You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm just gonna say it. I don't care. I like to smell. I don't mind. Like if it's apple, cinnamon, peppermint swirl. Like I just like to smell good.
You like to have
like
scent.
I do have manly scents in my arsenal. Like I have some Creeds and like Calvin Klein's, Dior, shit like that. I have that in my arsenal, but definitely catch me throwing on cherry blossom lotion from Bath and Body Works because it smells good. Like I give two shits. I smell wonderful when I put that shit on.
It's the same with
Carnival? Me. I love it. It smells like marshmallow. Who the fuck don't want to smell like marshmallows,
bro? And it's the same. It's the same way with me, but vice versa. Because I know growing up. Because I was growing up female, all that good stuff. You gotta be a girl. You gotta wear the cherry blossom. You gotta wear the tropical paradise. You gotta do
Just
this, that, and
smell
the
good.
third.
Like, you know,
And,
it just smell good. That's how I see it.
albeit most of the smells smell good, I really love a nice vanilla smell. That's my
respect
favorite.
that.
But when I get a whiff of a good cologne, I'm just like, what cologne you got on? Nah, I don't want to give it to nobody. I'm not giving it to a boyfriend. I'm not giving it to a girlfriend. I need that shit for myself. I want to come out. Yeah. I want to come out smelling like I just came out of a clean rain shower.
See, you can get away with that. Like, I cannot walk up to another grown man and go, "Hey, bro, what that shit is you got on? I like that shit. What's the name of that shit?" I can't do that. Like, it'd have to be a situation where you know the person for the most part. You be like, "Yo, man, that's hidden. What's that?" You gotta say it like that. Like, you can't just go, "I like that shit, man. What's that?" "Damn, you smell good, nigga. What's that?"
Yeah.
"What's the name of that shit?" Like, you can't do that.
No, listen.
You can get away with that. I can't do that shit.
Really? So I had to learn that shit the hard way. That I can't do that shit either. I can't do that shit because with me, outside of like work and shit, even at work, like most of the time at work, I will dress up. I will put on a whole face of makeup sometimes, contacts. I look really cute, really girly, really poppy, you know? And when I make myself look really, really pretty and go out, you can't just go up to every random nigga just because they smell good and be like, "Oh, you smell really good. What cologne are you wearing?" Because niggas be thinking you flirting. I don't want you. Your teeth. I love people with gaps. I used to have a gap too. But if your two front teeth are not just like a gap or like a gap,
park an Escalade.
If you look like you done taken out your full 4 front teeth, and then your eyes are just as spread apart as your teeth.
Oh my gosh.
I was asking
alien motherfuckers, they all the way on the side of your shit.
I was just asking you what cologne you wear because it smells good and I want to smell similar. I don't want that one because I'm afraid it's going to turn me like you. But I want one that makes me smell similar.
Still take a bottom.
But colognes be smelling good. I think my favorite cologne that I want, but it's so expensive. It's expensive to me because I'm a broke bitch. But Johnny Depp's Sauvage on the Dior.
I haven't.
I
he was talking about that.
Love that smell.
He was talking about that. She said it's amazing.
It is so good.
I'm mad to get some.
You do. It's literally the best. I want the entire set just for myself. I don't want anybody to touch that.
See, this is
I want the bath. I want the lotion. I want the spray. I want the deodorant. Shit. Give me the shit that you use to shave your beard too, because I'll use that to shave like the little bit of arm hairs I have, you know? Matter of fact, I'll use that to shave my partner's face. That way I can just smell that shit when I'm going to sleep.
You feel that strong.
Yes. I love that smell.
Because whenever someone says, "I like that smell," usually is universal for the most part. Like I went to a perfume place and this lady didn't have shit to do. And she said, "It doesn't fucking matter if you like it. Doesn't. You can like that shit and everybody else thinks it stinks on you."
Right.
She said, "Go for what other women like. If your partner likes how that scent smells," she said, 8 times out of 10, they'll like it on you. It's the rare case that your chemistry just doesn't necessarily match, because that's also true. Like, some things can smell good on you, but don't smell good on someone else.
And vice versa.
So she said, if there's a scent, or, think about what your partner wears. You can look at what your partner wears. Like, look at whatever perfume or cologne they wear. And then look at what's in it. And then look at other perfumes or colognes that have similar ingredients, and you'll find something that your partner most likely will like, because you want other people to like how you smell.
Right.
Stop being selfish. It's like, stop being selfish. You want other people to like how you smell.
And the great part about all my senses, I figured out at a very young age that your body chemistry doesn't always match with stuff. And no, the scent may smell good, and you may still be able to wear it or whatever, but that doesn't mean it's always meant for you. You just wear that shit because you like it, but that don't mean it smells the most pleasing to everybody. True. I learned like more soft, warm tones like vanilla, cinnamon, freshly baked goods. those types of beats match with my natural
Those things
smells.
are lovely. If
Right?
I walk up on a woman and she smell like fresh buttered biscuits, I need to find out her information. Where you work?
Right.
Is that a perfume that you
Right.
have on that smells like fresh buttered biscuits? Did Bath and Body Works just drop a new
Right.
line that's fresh buttered biscuits?
exactly.
Because I need to get those candles. Like,
Exactly.
if foods are enticing, especially sweet
Exactly.
food. So when somebody smell like fresh baked cinnamon rolls, oh, you smell good. It's like,
Right.
yeah, that's the cocoa and the vanilla lotion all mixing together. I smell
Exactly,
like
exactly.
a bakery, baby.
Right. I realized though that like in the food genre still citruses don't match the best with me. I can still wear them, but like
Need a splash, just a little.
yeah,
Just a little
I
touch.
can't walk around smelling like a lemon or a lime or an orange because even though those smell great, it doesn't match with me at all.
Citrus can be too
Citrus-
bright. Sometimes you don't want that bright. Like, I
Right.
understand if you look at how certain scents are marketed and what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to make you feel. Citrus is a bright, bubbly, summery scent. And
Now maybe I could rock
sometimes
like
it
a
can
vanilla
be
cup, like a
too
lemon
much.
cupcake.
Orange is a good one that mellows out, but when
Mm-hmm.
you just go straight lemon zing on shit, like, I don't want to come into your house in the middle of December and smell lemon zing.
I want to
It's
smell
just a little
peppermints and
off.
gingerbread.
Right? That just makes more sense. It's just the time of
It's
year,
like-
it's holidays, us people cooking nowadays.
It's like during Thanksgiving and Halloween, you want to smell like spiced donuts and shit. You
don't
don't
get me wrong.
you don't want to
island
go in and
scents
smell watermelon.
and coconuts and things of that nature can smell delicious any time of year, but you gotta kind of go with the seasons. Don't be smelling like lemon zing in the middle of December.
Right.
It's just not cool.
I found roll-ons are really cool lately because you can get some of those. Some of them will smell a lot more like that cinnamony flavor that you want, more than like Bath and Body Works and shit. And they also have like more
Fuck with
gender
the
neutral smells. I think
fuck
my
with the
favorite
roll-ons.
one is like a bluish color, and I can only really find it at this one beauty supply store that I worked at.
Okay, wait a minute. You say this shit, like, first off, you need to realize that all of these roll-ons are different wherever. So you can
Oh,
sit here and
absolutely.
say, it was a blue one, and I only get it at this certain place. The blue ones are different every fucking way.
I
I
know.
remember when that shit first came out, motherfuckers was slanging roll-on. Like, somebody just roll up on you at the barbershop. Hey, bro,
You want
I
some
got
roll-ons?
colognes. This motherfucker got 500 of them bitches.
Look, and what I realized is just because you say the name is something, just
Doesn't mean it's
you
the
can see something that is very similar to that name. Like the name of my favorite one from this one specific one, and it was more of like a darkish blue. I only say that because you'll know it because they also have their labels color coded or whatever. But this one, for lack of better words, I guess for the people that named it, it's called Eat Me Raw. Exactly. But it is such like a gender neutral smell that no matter where I go, everybody fucking loves that shit. The men and women love that shit. Exactly. But if you go to a beauty supply store like 2 blocks away and look for that same one, no, it's a blue color, looking for something that's something that's like Eat Me Raw, you'll see Eat It Raw. Eat Me Raw and Eat It Raw, while they might be similar, they are not the same thing.
Eat me raw and eat it raw. Yeah, because they're two different people that they just
Exactly.
using to eat.
But
They just selling sex, basically.
Everybody thinks, no, they're the same thing. They're the same thing. They're made by the same people. It's all just distributed. No. This formula is a little bit different from this formula. And that little thing in this formula makes this one more superior to this one.
All alcoholic drinks don't taste the
Exactly.
same. All lemon drops and sex on the beaches and tequila sunrises, Long Island iced tea. Everybody's shit is not the same.
You can get a Long Island iced tea at 3 different bars. It can taste different at each bar.
True.
Just depends on who making your drink. One might know what it pleases the guests more. One might go by the book, and one might say, fuck this shit. I want to go home and just throw some shit in a cup for you. You still gonna drink that shit, but it's gonna be like, it could have been like this.
I'm mix this, I'm mix that. Hey, bro, Hood Long Island, bro. It's like, nigga, what's in here? Everything on the shelf. It's 8 alcohols up there, bruh.
Bruh.
One of them is Tito's, my G. You put Tito's in this? And Crown? And you drink it though.
Yeah, you drink it because you don't pay for it. It's like,
That-
you know what? I'm getting
That's that
drunk.
crazy shit when you end up pissing on the couch. I seen a nigga piss on the couch. That was crazy. Motherfucker was just, and then you just heard it. You just heard liquid. Like you know how you hear liquid.
Yeah, like,
And when it's out of place, you go, "What the fuck is that?"
right,
And
you start
turn
looking
ar-
for the source.
And yeah, you looking for the source, and you realize it's like dripping from the couch because a motherfucker just peed on the couch while they slumped over it.
It's because you so slumped, you get that bathroom dream from when you was a kid and when you an adult sometimes, and you like, you be
Like,
having
bro.
that bathroom dream. You think you don't walk all the way to the bathroom. You got somewhat of consciousness. Okay, I don't walk my ass to the bathroom. Great. I didn't think I was.
Wake up.
I didn't think I was gonna make it.
I always
Let me
wake
just-
up.
Look, I started giving myself like a mental awareness check.
It's like when you think you're gonna fall, and right before you hit the ground, you wake up.
Right, but for me, it's like if I have the bathroom dream, whether I'm actually asleep or that I just woke up, but I'm so fucking tired, it feels like I'm still asleep. Like everybody has those times. If
True,
I'm still
true.
asleep or if I think I might be asleep, when I start peeing, if I feel it get warm and not escape and just like the warmness spreading, I know I need to wake my ass up. I'm like, because literally now in my bathroom dreams, I'll be like, oh, I need to go pee. Do I feel warm? No, we're good.
That
Sometimes I'll get up.
is
Sometimes I'll want.
funny because I feel every human has had the bathroom dream, and I've had a dream where I went to the bathroom, and right when I saw the stream, I woke up like that, like like
damn,
Mr. Bean. I'm
Look, damn, I gotta go pee. Let me run to this bathroom real quick before I wet my pants. Then you
too damn grown. I'm too damn grown.
bro, you gotta argue with yourself in the bathroom. Like, I can't believe you almost pissed in the bed next to your partner too.
That's just like,
It's like, damn, what happened if you didn't get your ass up and y'all both woke up in a puddle? What you finna say then? You can't blame it on no dog because you ain't got no pets. You can't blame it on a kid because you ain't got no kids.
I know damn well
Who
you ain't
just
just
pissed in your
pissing
bed?
this bed, Cletus. I know
Look,
goddamn well you
you
ain't
gotta
just
wake
pissing
up.
this motherfucker.
It's-
You going to the doctor next month. You going to the doctor Monday. You
Look,
going to the doctor
it's
Monday.
either like, I can't believe you just pissed in a goddamn bed. Or it's a
Goddamn sugar.
Look, or it's okay, sweetie. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. We all do it sometime.
Shit.
No, you don't. You supposed to
Shit.
stop that shit when you was like. You supposed to stop that shit when you was like 8 at most. That is the longest
I
I'll
mean,
give a
some
person.
people are late bloomers. Some people have
Yeah,
bladder
yeah.
issues.
Yeah,
You know,
and
we-
I understand
we
all that.
understand that. If you have bladder issues, okay, everybody's built different.
But you know what? Everybody that I know that has had their gallbladder removed or some type of surgery near their bladder, where they say, "Oh yeah, I got a weak bladder," I still haven't seen them piss themselves, especially while they sleep. I know them.
Hey, man,
They
that
get up.
bathroom dream is a trip. That's just like,
Bruh.
but not even thinking about the bathroom dream. What about sharding? Like, I don't care how old you are. If you are sick
Listen,
and you are not in the best health, everybody has had that moment where it's like, bro, I don't feel good. Like, nigga, don't make me laugh. Don't make no sudden movements. If I sneeze, I may shit my
look, I've had the.
It
the
don't
only-
matter
the
what
only
age
time-
you are,
look,
though. It just happens to human beings, period.
Bruh, I feel like the only
shark will
time
get you one day.
the only time that shit actually happens to me is if I am drunk and I am now sick and the next day I'm having a hangover. Cause when my tummy gets the rumblies, it knows I hate throwing up, so it tries to send it down the other way first.
Nah, man.
And if I go, I know I better be on that toilet.
I feel it's just universal, just human beings, period. Like, everybody is going through something where they were sick and it was just coming out both ends. Like, you
Right.
sitting on the toilet with a bucket, just because when the force from you pushing it out forward pushes it out the
Ugh. It's like when you know you don't have anything for the front, you just gotta sit there and pray. You gotta sit there and pray, or you know, if you're lucky enough to have your tub right next to your toilet, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't want to clean this up later, but let me do this just in case, safety measure, you know. Cause I feel like it's easier to try and rinse that shit down the drain instead of trying to clean that shit off your.
Yeah,
Cause
you gotta do the lean.
Who's gonna wanna be sick? And once you are done being sick and your body is healthy, go back and see the mess you done made in the bathroom and just be like, damn.
I just got sick all over again.
Look, and especially if you got a sensitive stomach or like if you get sick from the sight of vomit or somebody else getting sick.
It's your own vomit, yeah.
Yeah, you finna get sick again, and guess what? It's gonna be on that floor again. That's more mess later.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have someone that really loves you that'll come clean that shit up after you.
Health is true wealth. The healthier you are, the wealthier you are.
That's why I am so happy I basically got a stomach and system of steel.
Everybody has had a moment where they were sick and they charted. It's just human. Fuck how old you are, how much money you motherfucking make. It's just a human thing. Something happens to you and it's like, oh, my body is like, okay, whatever the fuck this is, we need it gone. Like now. We need to get out the fucking nose. We need to get out the mouth. We need to get out the butt. We need full force. That everybody push this stuff out, and it's just you just trash for however long it takes for you.
And I feel like you saying all this is gonna jinx me sometime in my future. Oh my god! Because luckily I haven't had the experience of doing that shit in front of anybody. If I feel like that shit is gonna happen,
I gotta go. Matter of fact, I'm not even coming in. I'm not.
If I feel like that shit is gonna happen, I'm make sure I'm on the toilet or in a safe space. I'm not finna do this shit in front of you.
It's a shard alert. I need a safe space.
And you gotta make sure you know that it's a shart and not just like a regular shit. Because you know sometimes when you think you got a fart and you're like, okay,
so I can. Wait,
they're like,
is that air?
Is that air? Or do I feel something else too?
Wait, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I gotta go. Or sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I do have to pass gas, but you know it's not bad. I'm in a public situation right now.
It's too risky right now.
Yeah, like I'm in a public situation. I can't just pass gas right now, especially because I know they're finna hear it too. And it's like we all vibing, we all chilling. I'm not finna, you know. And
or wait a minute, and everybody has gone through this. You think it's safe to fart because somebody running the blender or the mixer and then they turn it?
Oh, your shit is louder than the appliance. Oh my god, I've heard like two people be louder than the fucking appliance.
You're like, and then they shut that motherfucker off and it's still going.
Or you hear the brrr and you hear the. It's like damn, you let the whole pedals out your ass trying to hide it with a blender.
I've had that happen, or people try to have a conversation around somebody running the blender or the mixer, and then they turn that shit off, and now their conversation is loud as fuck.
Exactly, bruh. I think the worst time I have ever been in a situation where like I passed gas when I did not want to. The thing is, it wasn't even my fault.
How was it not your gas? How's it not your fault?
No, listen. I will explain to you how it wasn't my fault. I was drunk. I was on the floor. We were doing something, and I was on the floor for something. And I was like, oh, stop making me laugh. I gotta pass gas. Like, as in let me go to the bathroom. Let me excuse myself.
I'll be right
back.
But
while I'm still on the floor, like, saying this shit, before I could even get my drunken self off the floor, here comes somebody. I'm not gonna say names, but, you know, they know who the fuck they are. They know who the fuck they are. But here comes somebody else that is also slightly drunk / tipsy, whatever, you know, intoxicated. Comes over and belly flops on my back. So before I can get up, it literally pushes the fart out. And I'm like, bro, I just told you I had to pass gas. Why would you do that?
Terrible person for that.
It was funny in the moment, but I was like, oh my god, I was gonna go to the bathroom for that shit, and I didn't expect
like
to be that.
People be teasing you, it's like, bro, oh, you feel bloated, and then they poke your stomach. It's like,
yeah.
Seriously, I just
it's like literally, I feel the bubbles. Like if you put your hand on my stomach, you'll feel the bubbles.
Like bloat
don't
can have you looking 3 months pregnant.
Oh my, I fucking hate being bloated.
Like whether it's coming out this way or that way, but sometimes you just let out one of them long and you just look like you lost 3 pounds. Like.
And the worst part about some of that is at least for the females. Like, when it's that time of the month, you automatically get bloated. And then
guys get bloated too.
No, listen. Yeah, I understand guys will get bloated. But when it's that time of the month, a female will automatically get bloated, whether she got gas or not. She got, an extra 2-3 pounds that it look like on her.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it makes you want to use the bathroom more. So you got to add that extra bloatedness, which makes you, instead of having a nice flat belly you usually have have one that's not touching the table.
Yep.
And it's like, damn, even if it's like, damn, I'm bloated, and you say that shit or somebody can see you, it's like, oh, you're bloated.
It's like, no, that shit is uncomfortable. It's like, if you ever had an air bubble trapped in something, you know, if you press here, the air bubble just moves over here.
Yeah, it's not doing shit.
Like, it's not gonna just and go away. Like, it has to find an exit. It's just gonna move around until it finds a way out. Yeah. So
right. It's like, I know you wanna make a funny and make, you know, this girl fart in public, but poking her stomach, you got a better chance of trying to make her laugh too hard than poking her stomach.
She lifted 5 feet off the ground. I didn't know it was that serious. She burned.
No. I mean, sometimes it's like that, though. Sometimes just like, yeah. How?
I know. I've grown up with several sisters, aunties, and I'm married. I know exactly what it's just like. Oh, you don't feel like being bothered, huh? Yeah, it's not necessarily cramps or PMS. You just uncomfortable because you bloated. Like, I understand, like, being uncomfortable when you bloated. And now that I've gotten older, I understand that there's certain shit that I can't eat because 30 minutes to an hour later, you're going to swell up like a hot air balloon and you're going to be like this for the rest of the fucking day. It's not like, oh, okay, I just got to wait for this to pass and I'll be good. No, nigga, you're going to be uncomfortable when you get home. You need to walk around and move that around, and then it's going to come out in pieces and burnt, and then you might not fart again for another 2 hours. Like, you can't just be eating random shit because it fucks with you when you get older. I know that because I'm older. You see all these gray hairs I got?
I just had to experience that for the first time, like a few weeks. No, it wasn't a few weeks ago. I've been off of them for a minute. But, like, last year around, like, November, December, I was going back through my cheesesteak phase because I love cheesesteaks. I love Philly cheesesteaks.
Everybody loves cheesesteaks. That's why Big Dave's is rich.
Look, and I was over here and I was eating at this joint and I was like, oh, it started making my stomach feel a little like funny after a few bites.
Dairy and grease.
Yeah, it was like a little funny after a few bites, and I was like, no, it's fine. I let my stomach set and then I finished eating, and then I just don't feel well, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's just that place. Tried it again. You know, same thing. I didn't even finish eating because I was like, yeah, it's this place. I can't eat here. And I was like, okay, let me go to a different place. And I went there, got the same exact thing I ordered at the other place. And this time I eat like maybe a quarter of it. I didn't even finish the entire thing. I ate like a quarter or a half of it. And then the next thing I know, the next morning I'm calling out of work because I'm literally sick. And this was like, I'm sick like all fucking day.
Like, what is wrong with me? Oh my gosh, I just feel terrible.
And on top of that, it was like a really weird time because I'm supposed to be going to the leasing office too. So I'm just walking around in my hoodie, just random times having to get out the car because I'm sick. But I still got to go in and see these people, act like I'm not sick because, you know.
They gonna call the police on you. You look suspicious. Like you're walking around with a hoodie on.
Look, the first day I come in.
You all tucked over and shit. It's like.
Look, first day I come in, nice pair of slacks, nice button down, got a long, pretty black trench coat, got my hair done and everything. We're good.
She was faking it.
Second day, look, I'm looking like a grown adult the first day. Next day I come in, I look like a teenager that just
scammer. We got scammed.
I look like I'm a teenager that's playing a joke.
3 more times.
Bruh.
Even after they sign a lease, run that shit again. Scammer alert. Yeah.
But yeah, to make sure it wasn't the second place that I tried, and it was just really just cheesesteaks. The second time I went to the second place, I was like, let's get something different. And I ate it, and I was perfectly fine. Matter of fact, it was really good. Got full, ate the entire thing.
It was the cheesesteak.
It was literally just the cheesesteak.
It's all that grease and cheese. Yeah, you can't get
and I
down
fucking
like
love
that. No,
I love a good cheesecake, but I can't eat that shit no more.
I love a cheesesteak. I get one, every 6 months now.
I can't even eat them every 6 months because every time I eat them now, I'll get physically sick. And I'm like, damn.
It's just like donuts. I love donuts. But I gained 10 pounds.
I love donuts. See, my trick is I already don't eat a lot. So if I know I'm going to want a pack of donuts, whether it's a whole little bag or like just a little row of them.
Well, imagine you said it's a whole little bag. Now, we're not talking about the one where it's like, 6 of them.
Yeah, we're not talking.
You said a bag.
Yeah, you can get either little rolls with like the 6.
20 donuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Like some coming up.
Use the fat kid for real.
Absolutely. But here's how I get out of my. Here's how I keep my body away from fat kid because I was a skinny kid with a fat person trapped inside of him growing up.
I respect that.
The big person is finally starting to come out now as I get older. So I'm trying to keep it at an even medium where I'm still okay with my weight. So if I know I'm gonna eat a bag of donuts or a little roll of donuts, I'm just like, oh, let's cut out that cup of chili for lunch. Did I eat breakfast? No. Am I eating dinner?
Yeah, you gotta cut something out somewhere. You can't just load the whole day up with bad shit.
I only really eat like one meal a day, so I'm finna skip my breakfast like usual because I don't eat breakfast.
I had donuts.
No,
I'm an adult.
No, the donuts are for dinner. That's my thing. I don't eat breakfast. I make sure I skip lunch.
Donuts for dinner.
Look, one time I don't even remember what was going on, but one time I had got
for dinner? Krispy Kreme.
I had got off from work. I didn't eat anything all day. I didn't want dinner. I just wanted a snack. I said, "Hey, babes, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Yeah, on your way to pick me up, I need you to pick up like a bag of the donuts."
On some pregnant shit, I need a bag of donuts.
No, listen, it gets worse. I said, I need a bag of donuts and I'd like a can of whipped cream, please. Guess what, though?
The donuts in the motherfucking bag right now. Hey, that whipped cream. Give me the goddamn whipped cream.
Look, so I went.
Making fat kid demands right now.
Look, they brought me a water though too, so I drank some water. But they made me drink water.
You had to. They felt bad. I was like, look, you need something.
They made me drink water before I keep the donuts.
Mouth over here.
So I drank some water and then I ate half the bag of donuts and I ate half a bag of donuts with the whipped cream because whipped cream did get too sweet at the moment. But
yeah, you're washing it down with pastries.
Yeah, but what's good is good. And that's not something that my stomach wants to reject yet. So I'm going to enjoy this shit until it says stop it. Once it puts its foot down and says I can't eat this shit anymore, that's when I'll stop.
Wait till you get older. Your stomach going to be like, try it, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Try it.
So, okay. You better just have half of it. Oh, you going for 2? The whole pack? All right, little motherfucker, watch this.
Look. That's why I stay vigilant
for the whole day.
That's why I stay vigilant and do shit that my body can do now instead of waiting for this shit to fuck up.
Take advantage of it now.
Everyone's like, "Oh no, stop drinking energy drinks. That shit's gonna kill you." Well, until it kill me, I'ma drink this shit because you know what?
Dead motherfucker. Like, oh damn, they was right.
Guess what?
Dead now.
I died doing what I liked. I did what I enjoyed to the very end.
Oh my God.
If eating marshmallows, whipped cream, any fat kid shit, I don't care. Eating them poverty fat kid snacks, if that shit's what gonna kill me, I'ma do it because I enjoy that shit. I'm not gonna have people be like, no, you gotta eat healthy, keep your body strong. If I eat health, I'd rather put a body, and my great grandmother taught me this. I'd rather put a body that enjoyed its life and ate what it wanted in the ground instead of a body that didn't enjoy what it was eating because it stuck on this. I have to be healthy.
It's a trade-off though because you want to enjoy life. Yes, you should. You breathe in air. Why not?
Right.
But you want your quality of life to be good. You don't want to have a long, sucky ass life.
Yeah, and that's completely understandable.
You want it to be a long, enjoyable life. So you can't just really compound all of the garbage ass eating when you're young, and now you just shitty until you go in the grave. You gotta kind of stretch that shit out a little.
Yeah, and it's not like I do everything all at once, It's like
you talking about washing down a bag of donuts with whipped cream. I'm just saying.
It was like a quarter of a bag of donuts with whipped cream. The other half was just dry donuts.
Now the number goes down. I think it's more like half a bag.
No, I ate half a bag, but I couldn't eat the whipped cream for the entire half a bag.
Okay. All right.
But it's like I'll eat in like bits and pieces. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this shit. So I'll eat a salad to make up for it. Or like I'll just watch my weight or I'll walk to work instead of catching a lift. So I do stuff to keep my body in check still. But it's like I'm going to keep doing that and enjoy what the fuck I want to eat. Because if I decide, I'm not going to eat breakfast just so I can come into work and eat half a pan of bacon, I want to be able to do that shit. But guess what?
That's fresh. You made that today.
Exactly. The fresh, depending on who's making the bacon, the fresh bacon is always the best bacon. If they make it right, then you can leave that bacon in there for like 2 days. Go get a piece.
From a true fat kid, the best bacon is the fresh bacon.
Absolutely, but the bacon chef was great. If you can go back 2 days later and that shit is still immaculate. And I stand by that. I stand by that.
Oh my goodness. I respect that. Bacon, fresh bacon is the best bacon.
Yeah.
But I still eat old bacon.
Oh no, I'll still absolutely eat old bacon. I'm a fat kid, so of course I will.
But not to the point where, like, bacon gets to a point where it's so old it tastes like cardboard.
When it gets to that.
Not that old. Like, I'll eat day old bacon. I have no problem eating day old bacon. But when that shit started going, like, when did you cook that bacon? Tuesday? Yeah. It's Saturday. Throw that shit out.
Yeah,
that
if it like gets like
nah.
the only parts of the bacon that I will still eat, even if it's like that old, is one, if you keep it, like if you wrap it up and like it's kept in good condition, don't just leave that shit out.
Then it just lasts longer. It don't have that cardboard flavor. But if that shit was already crispy, and then you leave it out for like 2.
Look, if you get one of them slim pieces of bacon that is mostly meat and a little bit of fat, like what people like to say is the perfect ratio, then a few days after it's perfectly crispy, it's going to be perfectly dust. Like, you pick it up, it's going to dissolve in your hand.
It's going to be perfectly dust.
You got to get the parts.
You just go...
Bruh, exactly. That's the shit that
You're going to put it on the sandwich, and when you smash it down like that, just go...
Look, if you need some fast fucking bacon bits, get the pieces that are like that. Because you know it's going to crunch in your hand, just completely dissolve. My favorite parts of old bacon are the ones that have a little fatty part on it, because that part still be good, and you can enjoy that part more, where you get the taste of bacon in your mouth, where you don't have to eat the crunchy part.
We all know that fat was used as a preservative, so fat is like the last thing to just go dead. So yeah, if it's a really fatty piece, it's probably gonna last a little longer. But
oh yeah,
I don't really like old bacon. It just don't taste nice. And no matter what you do to it, it's like, once it goes cardboard, you can't save it. It's done.
One part about old bacon I don't like is the fact that after so many days old, like, you think the bacon has been dry, but all of a sudden you're now seeing this little white bacon oil buildups on
the
it.
Grease.
And I'm just like, that bacon didn't have it the first day. It didn't have it the second day. It didn't have it the third day. Why are we just now seeing the bacon build up on the bacon?
It's time to go.
Look,
it's time for it to
that's
go in the trash.
how we know it's time to go. But some people still wanna. It's like, you'll see that shit. You'll ask me, "Hey, what's this on it?" Like, first of all, it's common sense that it's probably bacon grease or mold.
Bacon fat, right.
It's either bacon grease or mold, and if it don't look furry, then it's bacon grease. So first of all, use a little bit of.
Either way it go, you unwrap that motherfucker and look down in there, and it smell like cardboard.
Exactly. First of all, use a little bit of common sense before you ask somebody a question like that. Second of all, if you still put it in your mouth, you didn't actually care. You just wanted to know because you was nosy, or you didn't have nothing to talk about.
He's a fat ass motherfucker.
Yeah. It was like, oh, what's this? I didn't even get to tell you it. I don't really fucks with old bacon too much. Like 3 days is the oldest I will let it go.
I mean, yeah. 3 days is the oldest.
After that, even if we still keep it, I'm not eating that shit.
No, we throwing that shit out.
Yeah.
So the next. Oh yeah, what's that person's name you wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, what's it? I can never pronounce his first name. The Flash. The guy that plays the Flash.
Oh. Ezra Miller.
Yeah, Ezra Miller. Okay, so you wanted to speak about this guy, and I know a little bit about what's been going on, or not recently, but I do know that guy is definitely a menace.
Absolutely.
Harassing people.
Absolutely.
On screen, off screen. Like, when you see him perform, it's like, oh, okay, I guess this makes sense. But if you are a comic, well, I'm not even a comic head. I just like remember older comics and the recent things that they're remaking. Mm-hmm. The Flash was borderline Tony Stark. Like, he was cocky, he was an asshole, he was witty, he was a smart ass. Similar to Deadpool in a way. So
he had all of Tony Stark's attitude with Quicksilver's power.
Right.
Whereas Bruce Wayne just had Tony Stark's money.
And that's actually a good one. Yeah. So I don't think he was
a menace.
I'm not gonna say he was the right person to play the Flash.
it worked because I saw like the first one, and I was like, he's not really,
he's not really the
type of superhero.
Yeah.
But the Flash really wasn't that type of superhero. The Flash
Yeah.
was a slimmer dude. He was a cocky asshole. Didn't necessarily care what power you had because he was fast and didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was gonna figure that shit out either way.
Right, yeah. So it's like, okay, I guess you can go with that. He's not really a huge bravado type of person. And then after hearing about all of the craziness that he was doing outside of the movie, it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Why did y'all do this fucking shit?
And it's more like, from my viewpoint, it's more like, first of all, like, especially with the generation that's growing up now, even if some of the older people are like, it's just a person, even though he's done a lot of shit. He's like, it's just a person, let him be. He's still going to do what he does, da-da-da-da. But from our generation that is very judgmental in most of the right sectors, like, especially when it, like, comes to crimes and shit, like, there's a whole list of shit that he's done. There's been allegations of him throwing chairs at people, of him grooming children, of him then, harming those people. Like, I think he's, like, there's so many things that have been wrong, like, or, like, just him harassing people in general.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I feel he has, what is that called? Main character syndrome.
Right.
And
he needs to be seen as like that.
Yeah,
it's like that attention seeking, but not in a good way.
The rest of you people are co-stars, and to an extent, you should have, I feel, just a little bit of main character syndrome from the standpoint of you need to be confident in yourself because things that happen affect you more than anyone else. Like, you breathe air, that breath of air goes to make you function, and then whatever you do with it afterwards is for the other person. Like, that's a choice.
Exactly.
So you should have a little bit, but I feel his is like, I'm the only one.
Right. I need this
fuck
right
the rest
now.
of y'all. I'm just gonna do what the fuck I want.
Exactly. And even though some people can have that, there's a lot of people that can have those attitudes, but that doesn't mean that you have to, like, harm people and go out of your way to do this shit and then, come up with one of a regular ass, everybody knows celebrity apology. True. And his was something along the lines of, he has, like, this mental, like, something going on with him.
No, fuckity fuck, no. Because I feel that if you have the mental capacity to literally make a movie, follow lines, XYZ. You cannot then turn around and blame all of the bad things that you're doing on your mental issue. That's just like, you see motherfuckers on public transit who have mental issues. Okay?
Yeah.
They know what fucking stop to get off at.
Right.
They know they need to put change in that motherfucker or use their car. Like, they can follow instructions. So you mean to tell me you're highly functional and you can star in movies, follow lines, follow a script, act.
Right. You can do all
then
this,
you want to blame all of the chaos on your mental instability? You're not gonna let that slide, bro.
You're literally only doing that so that way you have an easy scapegoat, like an easy way out, instead of
my mental thing.
Right, instead of actually taking responsibility for the shit that you've done. And I think for stuff like this, for me in particular, the only reason it bothers me is because they'll blame it on, like, a mental issue, and his words are he has a complex mental issue that he's working on. No matter how complex your mental issue is, if you can understand certain things and you still do this stuff, I have more of a, like, I want the directors and people that still, like, pick them out of other people that could probably be doing better. Like, you need a little bit of a character check. How are you still okay with putting these people in your shows and movies, even though nobody really likes them because they're such horrible people? Whereas, he's committed all these things, and when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, people can't use him anymore because, he's not allowed places. So, you don't see Will Smith anymore.
Okay, so two things. One, I feel even though, well, let me think. How do I word this? Okay. I think because he didn't hit the right string. For instance, when we go all the way back to Terrence Howard in Iron Man. That motherfucker said, I wanted more money. They was like, nah. He's like, I'm a main character in the motherfucking movie. I deserve more money. Especially, I guess, going down the line of what they were doing with Iron Man. Brody played a bigger part as the movies went on. So he's like, I want more fucking money. It's like, nah. Kick rocks. You know what happened? The very next Iron Man, there was a totally different person in that spot. And nobody said shit. It was just like, oh, all right, you think you should have a main part? You can just say whatever you want? Okay. Hey, right. Don. Hey, Don, you want this? All right. What happened with you? They said they was only giving that much? I fucking take it. Right. And then nobody gave a shit. So I feel that if he hit the right chord where it was like, okay, let's just swap this motherfucker out. Because they're not afraid to swap people. They will swap people out and not give a fuck. And depending on who you are, the audience might not care. Like, okay, so he is a main character. He is the character. Like, Iron Man was different. He was a secondary character. But the fact that he was literally number 2, and they just swapped him out like that, I feel that he didn't hit the nerve, the right nerve that made people go, okay, you think you're big and bad, we're going to swap you out. It was more so you run around here feeling yourself, you're a superhero, you got this money, you're a part of a community, so you're using that to your advantage to just do this stupid shit. It's the money plus the community that you're a part of is very outspoken. They're fighting for rights. They're fighting for their share of the pie. And you want to use that plus your status to just go around the world running amok? That's not going to work, homie. Like, whatever followers you had are going to disconnect themselves from you. And then people who would normally go see the movie or, because you have people who see the movie because they love the actor and, the actor saved the movie or this movie was good. It really sucked. The script sucked, but, the actor was wonderful. People
the actor did what he did.
I don't like that motherfucker. Like, I'm not going to see that shit.
Right. Ugh. And what's funny is even though that he still did this shit, like he still, casted Ezra Miller as the Flash, even though we could find anybody else to cast as the Flash. We've seen main characters switched out. We've seen Batman switched out like 3-4 times. Oh my God, yes. We've seen Batman switched out so many times.
So many times.
They can switch out Flash a few times. There's only been like 2 Flashes now.
We've seen the Joker switched out so many times.
Yes. Now Joker has this whole movie based off a whole different personality. It's like
like he has an office job and shit. I mean, the Joker was insane.
It's like you can definitely
Heath Ledger forever.
You can definitely switch out this person, but it's like. In this situation, this is where, like, I like our generation, or at least my generation, because, there's been times when our generation has felt so strongly about stuff, and we've just become, like, got together. Like, when my entire generation gets together, it fucks with a lot of shit. Oh, yeah. Like, even with the Donald Trump thing. Like, if my generation decided to do what they did to Donald Trump with this movie, that director, all the actors, they ain't getting really paid shit for that.
People have... Social media has given the average person a voice. If enough people band together and go, you know what, this sucks, we don't want to be a part of it, the company will change. The only sucky thing is that power is directed towards, let me not say stupid shit, because it may be stupid to me, but it's very important to somebody else. But it's not directed towards companies. If you hate a company so much, stop using them. Like if everyone across the globe said, hey, we don't like Wally World, we're going to stop using Wally World. Wally World would go into a fucking panic and go, okay, what do y'all want?
Right. What can we do to fix this?
I got the knee pads. I got the Astroglide. Which hole do y'all want so we can do business? Right, because you are their bloodline.
Exactly.
So people will do that for pop culture things and social things and get behind things that sort of feel good to say they're a part of it.
Yeah.
But that power doesn't necessarily translate to bigger things. Like if you don't like a certain company or you don't like what they do, you literally have the power to not fuck with them. But whatever said company is so intertwined in your life and you're so lazy. It's like, well, I'm not going 2 extra miles down the road to get vegetables and XYZ. I'm going to Wally World where I can get an ironing board and some broccoli. You know?
Right.
People have gotten to the point where they're so lazy and so dependable, they don't want to fight longer than the inconvenience.
Right. And me personally, for most of the stuff, unfortunately, I'm not as up to date with media as I'd like to be, even though I'm a young person.
You just gotta start scrolling.
Look, and that's what I'm saying. I learn stuff when I need to learn about it, or like right after it happens. True, so it's like
most people do.
Sometimes, like, I didn't even learn about the Trump shit till after it had happened. I was seeing TikToks of like, oh yeah, nobody liked Trump so much that we all bought, like, we maxed out his station, like his little place where he was doing his next rally or shit. And nobody showed up but like 20 people, and that was like a place that holds 500 people. Yeah, and it's just a bunch of young adults and teenagers that fucking hate Trump and just want to see him suffer.
But it goes, I mean, social media sways both ways, because now there are a lot of people that favor Trump and like Trump, right, because of the things that he's gone through, and also seeing what we currently have. It's like, oh my god, both like of them really suck. Yeah, it's like, but at least really this dude over here could, you know, he's a little better at this, but he sucked at it. It's kind of like, you know, you notice the grass wasn't greener on the other side, but that's just people. But the power of social media has now gone to the point where people are like doing tactical riots and looting. Like people will get on IG and say, okay, we hitting up this Nike store at this point in time, you know, everybody be there, bum rush, get the fuck out, you know, have your ride, have whatever. And then they just hit store by store by store by store. Right. You understand if you took that power and did it for something else and was like, all right, we just not fucking with this company because they suck ass and, you know, the quality sucks and they need to do a recall on this and repair it. And you just stop fucking with that company. Literally, they'll be with knee pads and Astroglide talking about which hole you want so we can do business. But we don't do that. We much rather do stupid shit or, you know, plan to loot some shit, and people are getting wiser and wiser. Motherfuckers just don't end up getting popped. But we kind of got off the subject. But the things that he's doing, I do not agree with. And I feel that that's the reason why the second movie, or the most recent movie, it tanked. It was a flop.
Absolutely.
It was a flop.
Absolutely. That's because when everybody, like, the only people that I believe that would actually go see it, and there's no hate to these people at all, because, you know,
are the hardcore
it's like the
fans or kids. Kids that saw the first one and want to see the second one.
Yeah, kids that want to see that saw the first one want to see the second one, or like old folks that want to do something special for their grandkids. It's like, oh yeah, I saw you read those little Flash comics. Let me take you to see the movie. Innocent eye
candy. Like you're looking at it as innocent eye candy, kind of how I am with the Transformers movies.
Right.
Because if you're a real like Transformers fan, you don't necessarily like the way that Michael Bay directed the film or the way he took the storyline.
Yeah.
But if you're a kid that remembers Transformers on TV before they went to school, and then to literally see Optimus Prime turn into a semi-truck, it's like, yo, that's cool.
Right.
Just for eye candy, Transformers was awesome.
Absolutely.
So people would go see that movie just for the eye candy, but that's not enough. You also want the hardcore comic fans to go, oh, okay, I like how you did that. Just like the people who are my age who don't have any kids but saw the Mario movie.
Right. Right.
If you grew up on Mario and saw the movie, it was like, yo, that was good. I like how they put that together. That was good.
Exactly.
He ruined that for the Flash. Like, he single-handedly was.
Yeah, and even if the hardcore, like, there's not enough hardcore fans that will still be like, because if you're a hardcore fan, you're going to want to know everything about the director, the actors.
Because you appreciate the movie, you want to know the people who contributed to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So you're going to do your research, you're going to see all this shit, and you're going to see, damn, he did this, that, third, that. Like, even if you are a person that's like, I'm gonna let some shit go, but he did this, that, and the third, and that marks it off your book, because he's done several things to, like, make anybody uncomfy. Between harassing people, like, he's had a restraining order, he's thrown chairs at women in bars, he's been known for grooming, he's, like, for all this shit. So if one of those 4 that I named off did not hit one of your marks,
your image matters more than it did before. Like,
especially when you get put in the spotlight, because like now it's all eyes on you. Everyone's
your
gonna be.
Acting can't save you. Basically, when we were younger, there were actors who had shitty ass fucking outside of the spotlight lives. Like maybe they beat their woman or XYZ, but their acting was like, oh my god, this actor is fucking wonderful. I love you. Heard he beat his wife? Yeah, but did you see that last motherfucking movie they was in?
And most of the time, if you're a big enough star, you do a good enough acting job, people are more willing to try and hide and cover that shit up. But frankly, he's not a good enough actor for anybody to want to cover his shit.
That's the other part. And especially now, people won't let that go. Like,
right. Everyone's going to always...
actor ever. And if you do some shit that's foul as fuck, motherfuckers be like, yo.
Yeah, and on top
I don't like that motherfucker. No.
On top of doing that, he lost most of the LGBT support too.
Exactly.
Because he...
they don't want to drag that shit.
Yeah, because he's non-binary. So if
I need everybody to stop claiming us, okay?
Exactly.
Stop.
It's like, now we don't want to support you anymore because you're supposed to be part of our group, but you're giving everybody in this group a bad name.
A bad name.
There's already people, like there's already straight people or heterosexual people that despise you just for being gay or liking somebody that's not who they like. So
RuPaul can't be our only saving grace.
Bruh, we can't have all of the famous gay actors or non-binary actors giving us a bad name too. We're trying to build this shit up.
No, we don't want that.
So yeah,
put them in the realm of lost humans. We don't know what the fuck that is. We don't want it over here.
Exactly.
Oh, y'all don't want them over there. Oh, we don't want that motherfucker. We thought y'all had them. We don't want that motherfucker over here.
So now the community of straight people with morals don't like him. The community of gay people don't like him. Gay people with morals don't like him. You know anybody with a conscience that actually cares enough to put forward an effort or just be like, yeah, I don't want to see this film that badly to, help support this dude that's doing such and such, they aren't going to go watch the movie. But if you're just like clueless, it's like, cool. I'm not going to give you hate for it because, not everybody knows. Sure. But at the same time, it's just like, I personally, and that's why I still have not watched any of
your public image is just as important as your professional image nowadays. Exactly. And you don't even have to be famous. Like, I've been in situations where I've watched other managers literally go through Facebook and like match up Facebooks with resumes, and they would literally look at people's profile pictures and go, nah. Is that to say you think this is it? Well, it's 2 of them with the same. Well, which one does it say it worked here? Right. Look and see where they work. Oh, this is the one. No. Like, your social or outside of work image is just as important as your work image.
Exactly. And I know this. So, like, I know some resumes require you to have your, like, social on there, just, like, depending on, like, what type of job you're taking.
I've had someone ask me for my Instagram or whatever,
right.
Like, do you put your dishes or such and such on Instagram? I'm like, very rarely. It's a lot of house stuff, but nothing that I want to necessarily represent me. This is just social stuff. Like, you see stuff on paper plates on my Instagram.
Exactly, but sometimes even if you don't put your social on, like, your resume and shit, people are gonna find it. If they want to know what you're like outside of work, they're gonna find you. That's why I make a habit of keeping my, like, I like to think of myself as a content creator sometimes, but whether or not I do that, I like to make sure my profile picture is always the most updated, pretty picture I find of myself. That's not like I don't want that picture to be too sexual, and I don't want that picture to be like, "Hi, I'm Karen." You know? So I find something that I think represents me the best in that moment that is recent, and I go with that because I know, especially like with my Instagram and some other stuff, you'll see some photos that have a little bit too much skin showing on them.
Oh my
but
goodness.
if you're basing
No, Chip. No.
Listen, but if you're basing
No,
me off
Chip.
of my profile picture, like if that's all you're looking at, because I know some people that
No.
only look at your profile picture and say like, okay, yeah, you're good. Then I got it covered.
No, Chip. No. You can't be out here just showing cheeks on the ground. The fact that you said, you know what? I'm not touching the Chip. I'm not touching. Now everybody see this video is like, what's her Instagram? What's her gram? Watch. But
secret.
Anyway, this has been like the first episode, and we are glad that you guys decided to sit down and listen to us rant and bitch about life, things that we like, things that we don't like. You know, just two chefs having a conversation. So we will be doing this. Let's see, what we say, twice a week.
Yeah,
Twice a week.
about twice a week.
Look for an upload twice a week. J-Bop and Chip, and we are signing off. Thanks for sitting with us and having a conversation. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.